Low confidence comes from feeling like you're not good enough to deal with the scenarios you're going to be put in. So if I were to ask you to name 5 football clubs in 30 seconds, the confidence would be sky high because first of all, you have the knowledge and the ability to name 5 football clubs. And second of all, you have 30 seconds, which is quite a long time, so you'd be comfortable. And this is exactly how it works on the pitch too. If I pass you a ball with 2 defenders around you, giving you little time and no space, then you're going to feel quite anxious and low on confidence. On top of that, if you don't have a good first touch, then you're going to feel even less confident. Today, we're going to fix that. When I speak about confidence, I always take myself back to the year 2020. I was 14 years old and I was playing in a division that was pretty easy for my skill level at the time. My confidence was really high because more often than not, without boasting, I was one of the better players on the pitch. But this wasn't for long. The next season, I would move to a team 3 divisions higher. I was now playing in the top division in my area and my confidence went from sky high to rock bottom. But I hadn't changed and my ability hadn't changed. What did change was the players around me. In my old division, I didn't even have to do movements to create time and space. I could literally just run off my marker, get the ball, and I'd have space to turn and run. But now I was in this new division, that movement wasn't enough. I would be marked tight and I'd have little space. And this is the first lesson I had to learn when it came to improving my confidence. Movement is key. Now don't get me wrong, there are times in football where you're simply going to have to take the ball under pressure. That is normal. But should this be happening every time you receive the ball? No, it definitely shouldn't. You might be able to keep it once or twice, but to ask yourself to keep hold of the ball with men around you every single time is really difficult. To give yourself that time, space, and most importantly, confidence, all it takes is a simple double movement. And the best thing about it is that it works anywhere on the pitch for any position. This is how it works. So let's start off with the example of a centre midfielder using the double movement to create space. So this is our team on the ball here and we're going to receive the ball from a centre back, something that happens pretty often as a midfielder. So you're marked here tightly by the opposition midfielder. And as we said, making this run isn't enough. The other midfielder's just going to follow you and then you don't have time or space to get onto the ball. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to make a little movement here. And what this is going to do is it's going to drag the midfielder with you and leave this massive gap in here. So now we can move into this space, get the ball, and look at all this space we have. Now the reason a movement like this is so effective is that first of all, other players simply don't expect you to do this. Unless you're playing at the professional level where this is normal, it's not expected for a player to be clever enough to make 2 movements to get the ball. And another good thing about it is that it works literally no matter what. Imagine we did that movement there that we just discussed here and the midfielder doesn't follow us. Then look at this space that we have to get the ball, turn and run. And then of course, if he does follow us, then we have all of this space here that we're then going to use to get the ball, turn and run as well. The defender can't win if you do the double movement correctly. And as I said, it literally works for any position on the pitch. So we could change this to a striker and your midfielder having the ball. So you're marked tightly by a centre-back. You could fake to make a run in behind, the centre-back drops off, and that leaves all this space in here. Even as a winger, you could be marked by the full-back. Maybe your full-back has the ball, and then you fake to get the ball to feet. The full-back comes and follows you, and that leaves all that space in there for you to spin and get the ball in behind. So as you can see, it's such an effective movement. If you want more tactical breakdowns like these, then make sure to check out the link in the description, where I take you through step by step everything you need to do to reach the professional level. The second part to improving your confidence is actually improving your ability on the ball. I can give you the freedom of the entire pitch with all the time in the world, but if you don't have the technical skills like the first touch, the dribbling or the shooting, then ultimately it's not going to matter. If you're still watching the video at this point, then you're serious about your football and most likely it's your dream to sign for a professional academy. Now, if you're to get to the level where you can sign for a professional academy, then you need to be as good as, and if not better than the players already in these professional academies. And this means that we have to catch up to them as they're already ahead of us. Now, let me ask you this. How often do professional academies train? 5 times a week? 6 times a week? So if you aren't willing to match that and practice your first touch, dribbling, shooting 5 or 6 times a week, then you're not giving yourself a chance. How can you expect to catch up to the players ahead of you by doing less than them? That's like being in a race, running slower than the person ahead of you, and then wondering why the gap's getting bigger and bigger. We wonder why the professionals have unbreakable confidence, and this is why. They put the work in and they do the reps. The first touch, dribbling, shooting, passing, every skill you could think of has been practiced for so many hours, so they have nothing to worry about. And then even when they have all of that technical ability, they're still willing to create more time and space for themselves by doing them double movements we spoke about. That's why they never lose the ball. If you want to become that player that never loses the ball, then check the first link in the description. You will move to a better team within a season, or I'll pay you $100. Thank you for watching today's video. I'll see you soon.